Hello. So, my name's Ashley. I wanted to introduce myself. I don't know that I've done that on this channel, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit of my backstory. There is always more to add, but I feel like it's important to know where I come from, to know where I'm going. But basically, as far as homeschooling goes, we started homeschooling in 2015. My son was going into the 8th or ninth grade, can't exactly remember. My daughter, I think he was going into ninth. My daughter was going into third, my middle child, and then the baby was only 3. So now my son is almost 19. He graduated last year. And yeah, 2020. And Halia is going into ninth grade, and Hannah is going into 4th grade. So Hannah has never been to public school. Halia has been enough to know that she doesn't want to be at public school. And Hunter still to this day says that he's so glad that we, his father and I, chose to homeschool him. So I had been a nurse from the time I was 18 years old all the way until, well, recently. The last time my license was up for renewal, I decided to make it inactive. I believe that was actually 2 years ago now. So I was actually working at a job as a nurse at a preschool where I was able to homeschool them and work. My schedule was flexible where I could do that, and it was such a wonderful blessing. But at the time, I felt like I needed to go work weekend options so that I could justify homeschooling my children. I was made to feel like I could not homeschool them, that it was a bad idea, that they would not flourish, that I was going to make them weird, that it was an injustice that I was taking them out of school. And so I felt like I had something to prove. I felt like I needed to keep a strict schedule. I needed to make sure that I just proved everyone wrong, right? So I went to work full time and laid aside my beloved nursing job at the preschool for a moment. And then I started working at the preschool and working weekend option and homeschooling my children. So, it was rough. So if anything, I would encourage you to not feel like you need to overcompensate in another area just to justify doing something that God has called you to do. It was a hard lesson for me to learn. I have always just tried to take over and handle things on my own. So once I decided, which another wonderful thing happened in 2015, my husband was able to start his own electrical business that is going very strong now 6 years later, and I'm so proud of him, and I'm so thankful to be able to help him now. I am a big part of the what do you call it, process of getting electrical work scheduled now. I help with all the paperwork, office admin, phone calls, that kind of thing, computer work. He is still very much active in the field, and so we don't have any employees right now that aren't family. It's my husband, my son, myself, and my daughters also help with what they can with filing and computer work, that kind of thing. So anyway, in the beginning, I felt like I needed to prove myself, and I wish that I would have had more confidence. And so I would like to convey that to you guys that are thinking about homeschooling or that maybe haven't been homeschooling very long, to cut yourself some slack and just realize that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Now it's even more popular to homeschool. I think just as the years have gone on, it has become more popular. And then with COVID, it made it even more popular. And so people were homeschooling out of necessity. Homeschool is not the same as doing virtual through a public school at all. I know that would be more stressful if I had to schedule meetings for my children on top of also working, on top of all the household things that I'm doing. So that, I believe, is more challenging. I do want to make sure that my children get everything that they need. That is still a pressure that I have on me. And I think that's okay. It's like a healthy pressure, I feel like, because they need to be exposed to the math, the history, the language arts, the writing, the computer skills, the math, everything. They need that curriculum. I want them to be able to go into any field that they want to, or not. I just want them to have the knowledge to be able to homeschool their own children if they want to, and I want to be here to support them and help them through all those things. So anyway, I just wanted to give a little bit of background. I'm sure more will come, and thank you all. You all have a wonderful evening.